from the great state of Texas, it's the Cynthia Austin Show with CMA Award winner, Cynthia Austin. Now, here's your host, Cynthia Austin.
Hello, television and online viewers. Welcome to the program. I'm Cynthia Austin. Well, we've done it again, racked up another great show for you. With us today, we have the founder of Color Me Empowered. Kristen Jackson is here, and she's going to share with us how she helps youth deal with cultural behavior issues, life struggles, and all things pertaining to children and some of the social issues they deal with through art. Call your family and friends and tell them the Cynthia Austin Show is on. Back right after this. Are you determined to do something? You know, determination is when you are set and intent and plain out focused on getting a thing done. You know, just because something may have redirected your thoughts or caused you to become discouraged does not mean that you're still not determined. What that determination does is it says, in spite of my situation, in spite of what I'm being handed, in spite of what I'm having to go through, I am determined to see this thing through. One of the things I've learned that you can do is go back to the moment you first received that determination, the moment you first began to work on that project, you know, when you were just thrust into it and you were determined to get it done. Let me know your thoughts. I'd like to know, what are you determined to do? What are you working on that's challenging you, that you're determined to see it through? Go to Facebook, Cynthia Austin TV Show, and let me know your thoughts.
The Cynthia Austin Show will be right back, right after these messages.
Color Me Empowered is an organization founded by Mrs. Kristen Jackson, and she's our guest today. Welcome to the program, Kristen.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you for coming. Kristen, tell us about Color Me Empowered.
Color Me Empowered is really my baby. I started it back in 2008 when I was still teaching elementary art, and it started with us doing public art projects with the students that I had in my classroom. So I taught about 550 students in the school that I was at, and each year we would do a big, large-scale public art project. And it was such a good experience for the kids and for the school and the teachers and me that I thought that I should just find a way to do it other places. So I thought, I'll form a nonprofit. How hard can it be? And just sort of plunged in like that. And then I ran the organization and taught school until 2015. And then in 2015, I took the plunge and quit my day job. And things have been moving pretty quickly ever since. We're about to open a new storefront.
Wonderful.
In North Oak Cliff.
Congratulations.
Yes, and thank you. And we do visual arts education, mostly with kids who are at or below the poverty line. We're an inclusive organization, so there's no exclusivity to how we accept kids into our programming. We have art camps all summer, but then we do public art projects all over the city, all over Dallas. So things like murals, large-scale mosaics, sculpture pieces. We try to really keep it site-specific and keep the children in the design process as much as possible.
Where do you do the murals?
So it usually starts with an organization contacting us and saying, we have this ugly wall, or we have this area that's ugly. We want to make it better. We want to like make it beautiful. And so that's how we enter the discussion. We try not to put any parameters on it. A lot of times we're able to engage the children and say, what do you want to see here? And design that way by really getting the kids involved. So there's a feeling of ownership when the project goes up. A lot of public art is done by a city putting out a request for a public art project, getting a big name artist to come in and do this project in a community, and that is good. It's not bad. However, a lot of times that community may not feel any ownership of that project. And so the way we approach public art is by engaging the children of the community. So the community then feels ownership and they have a piece that they're really proud of because it's something their children worked on and created.
How do you round up the children to get them involved?
We work with schools.
Okay.
We work with community centers. And we have, anytime we're doing a large mural that, say, like we did a large mural at a hospital. We were able to hire high school kids to apprentice with our master mural artists for that project. But if it's at a school, then the kids are already there. So it's not hard to round them up because they're
already there. Kristen, how long does it take to do a mural? That's something I've always been curious. I always wondered about.
It depends. So we just finished a mural at a juvenile halfway house that's part of the Texas Department of Juvenile Justice.
Okay.
It's called Catv House. You can see it on our Instagram page.
I've heard of Catv House.
It's over in East Dallas, really close to Mesquite. We took, I would say, probably about a total of 16 hours from start to finish on the actual painting part. But there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, especially in this instance, where a lot of the boys really didn't feel artistically inclined. When they met our artists, they got real shy about their artistic abilities. That's not uncommon, especially for high school kids. These boys were all high school aged, to suddenly feel inadequate when they're with professional artists. So what we did was we just asked them, like, what do you want your future to look like? And they could like say it in words, but they weren't really as willing to write it down in pictures. And so the superintendent of Catv House, Marquita Johnson, she sent us everything that they said, and then our artists put their heads together and came up with a wonderful idea, and then we mapped it on the wall once they did a rendering of it. And so behind the scenes, we're probably talking about a total of 8 to 10 hours, and then another 16 hours to actually paint the mural. But a lot of it, the time involved, depends on the size. So this was a medium-sized mural. So
art and optimism. I read where that's part of what you do. How do you combine the two? How do you get optimism out of art?
One of the things that happens in our classrooms and when we're working with kids in community centers and schools is we take a total art approach, and where we say, you've messed up, now you need to find a way to fix it, right? It seems really mean to kids at first. They're like, well, just let me get a new sheet of paper. But we have sort of like a universal, oops, let's work through it, not start over. And also the words I can't are not allowed. They're not allowed anytime we're working with kids. We want for them to work through the problem. And what we have found that develops in them is a sense of resilience. So just as for instance, a kid messes up on a piece of paper or a canvas or an idea, and we stick hard and fast to that rule. Like, you're gonna you're going to work through this. And once they finally are part of that process, they're like, oh, yeah, I can work through this. Oh, this is something that I can do. And it sort of develops that sense of automatic optimism, automatic, I'm a problem solver. I can take care of this no matter what happens.
Don't quit, keep going, don't give
Yes.
up. It's not
Yeah.
as bad as it seems kind of thing.
Right.
So you're combining your education with your passion, and you're making a difference in the community. You know, Kristen, when we come back, I want to talk to you about cultural sensitivity.
Sure.
I understand that's another area that you focus on
Yes.
at your organization
Yes,
as well.
it is.
Talking to Kristen Jackson with Colored Me Empowered. And when we come back, we're going to continue the conversation. Call your family and friends and tell them the Cynthia Austin Show is on. Back after this.
The Cynthia Austin Show will be right back, right after these messages.
What to expect when you're expecting. A teenager.
Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to teen-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys, preferably somewhere they would never look. Did that go okay? You have to provide an outlet for their creative expression. So good. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Mrs. Kristen Jackson, founder of Color Me Empowered, is our guest on the program today. And before we went to break, Kristen, I was asking you about wanting to know more about your program that deals with cultural sensitivity.
Yes, so one of the things we strive to create in all of the venues where we teach art or we do public art projects is giving children and really even adults for that matter, a creative safe space where they're free to express exactly who they are, exactly how they feel, even if like feelings are ugly, and there being no judgment. Also making sure that they know that it's okay to make a mistake, that people aren't going to make fun of them, that we stress kindness, not only kindness to each other, but kindness to yourself. And so what we want to do is we want to nurture their souls and it be about who they are on the inside and what their experience is and how that feels, and us being sensitive and developing empathy for one another. And I think that art is a natural avenue toward empathy. I think and believe that if everyone engaged in the things that we do in our classrooms and when we're in schools and community centers, that they would be more sensitive to each other's feelings, right? And so we stress cultural sensitivity because none of us come from the same place. Even when we're breaking it down beyond race, right? Even if we are exactly the same demographic and we come from exactly the same town, and for that matter, we could be in the same family. Our households have different cultures, right? And it's different, right? What you do in your house, the way you fold clothes, the way you do this is different from what your cousins may do in their house, and you're directly related to one another. So learning that different isn't bad. That's how we sort of develop that idea that being different makes things more fun, right? If everything was the same, if we all had the same experience, that would be so boring. But learning from each other's experience, making sure that the kids know that it's safe for them to express, but they also have to make it safe for their peers to express, helps them develop both listening skills and the ability to see and hear what other people are feeling. So it is tied into art, but we're sort of like secretly also teaching how to be empathetic. How do we treat each other when things are different or when we don't agree, you know? And it'd be okay for us not to have the same experience. It'd be okay for us not to agree and find some common ground, but still love each other and be kind to one another.
What do you find is the biggest concern for a lot of young people today who come into your organization and they express what's bothering them? Is it usually home and family matter or something going on at school? What is the most, seems to you that seems to be the most common complaint?
I see a lot of feelings of inadequacy. A whole lot of children coming in and saying, I'm not good enough.
Why do you think that is?
I think part of it is we set up this culture, right? Social media has invaded who we are as a, like really as a human race, right? It touches all of us. And what it has done is given a forum to make people look like their lives are perfect when we know, right, as adults that that's not true, right? That they've got skeletons in the closet and they've got messy things. We all have it.
And they didn't wake up looking that perfect.
Exactly.
Had to comb their hair and do the whole thing.
Or like, and so it's just a feeling of I'm not good enough. And so when they come into our facility, we have a chance to get our hands on them. All we do is reinforce you are good enough. You are worthy. There is something that you are good at. I think I taught school for 12 years. I taught public school. I believe in the public school system. But I think even in our school system, with all the testing, all the high stakes testing, it's reinforcing that message of you are not good enough. This score isn't good enough. It's not a message of I think that you are going to be successful no matter what you score on this test. And what we do is reinforce that, is be like, you know what? I knew lots of people who failed tests. For that matter, George W. Bush was like a straight C student. And look at him. He was president of the United States. Just letting them know that things don't have to be perfect now in order for your life to be good later.
Right, right. I remember my daughter's doctor said to her, he said, what do they call the doctor who finishes last in medical school? She said, doctor. He said, there you go. He said, there you go. And so he was telling her, don't be stressing out so much over, because she's just a high achiever. She didn't get that A. She was like, and I'd always tell her, I said, baby, just do the best you can. I never ask you to be, I'm not that mom, just do the best you can, do what you can, and just, be you. But she has that high achiever mentality. And it's like, I'm like, baby, I can't stress with you, and you're going to have to stop the stressing. And so I was so glad when he said that to her. He said, what do they call the doctor who finishes
Still a doctor.
last? Doctor, that's it. Exactly. So.
And a lot of times life is really about resilience, right? It's really about just sticking it out. And sometimes the kid that was in last place when they got their PhD or their MD, they make really great doctors.
Yes.
So we just try to emphasize that it doesn't matter. What matters is that you keep moving forward.
You know, I love to share a story. My brother, he almost, he was like almost flunking out of high school. I'm like, ooh, mom and dad ain't gonna get you. But he went on to get his master's at Stanford and became an aeronautical engineer.
It's amazing.
But this is the kid who made C's and D's in high school,
People will surprise you.
Exactly.
They will. You
Exactly.
just don't know.
Yes.
So we try to just make sure that the kids feel loved, that they feel worthy.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing what
Cynthia.
you do.
Thank
I
you.
love organizations like yours.
Thank you.
And I'm trying to shake your hand.
Oh, my bad.
You're like, no, really, sincerely, I just want you to
Thank
know
you.
I sincerely appreciate the work you do, your organization. Thank you for jumping out and taking that leap of faith, because I know it wasn't an easy one. And you're doing a great job. Thank you for working
Cynthia.
so well with the kids.
Thank you.
And the best to you.
Thank you.
Kristen Jackson with Colored Me Empowered on the program. When we come back, our music, our song of the week. Back in a moment.
It's such a struggle to understand what you desire and your commands. I wanna please you and all undo. Consume me, Lord, till there's only you. My life is in your hands, I give it to you. An empty vessel under review. Mold me, shape me into what you want me to be, till there's nothing left of me. Lord, use me. I want a mind that thinks like you. I want a heart that's set on truth, Lord. I want to love with sacrifice, so that people see Christ, so that people see Christ in me. Let me show them who you are. When they look at me, let them see your scars. Your reflection is my desire. Consume me, Lord, with your holy fire. Mold me, shape me into what you want me to be, till there's nothing left of me. Lord, use me. I want a mind that thinks like you. I want a heart that's set on truth, Lord. I want to love with sacrifice, so that people see Christ, so that people see Christ.
Let them see you when they see me. A broken mirror reflecting the King. Empty vessel down on my knees so the Lord pours out what I'm destined to be. Not mine, but your will be done. I gotta share what you've overcome. I see the cross and the ways of time, but now I take it up and now I choose to run. The race is on, bring hope where hope is gone. Trying to put you in the place of what they focus on. Your love alone, Lord, is a reason to praise. The truth of your love, reflecting your grace. I'm made in the image of God, I feel in my heart. The truth is Jesus is Lord. His word is my hope and my sword. On one accord, together we can change the world. Come on.
I want a mind that thinks like you. And I want a heart that's set on truth, Lord. I want to love with sacrifice, so that people see Christ, so that people see Christ. I want a mind that thinks like you. And I want a heart that's set on truth, Lord. I want to love with sacrifice, so that people see Christ, so that people see Christ in me.
The Cynthia Austin Show will be right back, right after these messages.
That's going to wrap up this program. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to our guest, Mrs. Kristen Jackson with Color Me Empowered. You can find out more about Kristen and her fine organization at the Cynthia Austin Show website, CynthiaAustinShow.com. Follow us on Facebook at Cynthia Austin TV Show. In the meantime, love everybody the way you want to be loved and treat everybody the way you want to be treated. Until next time, I'm Cynthia Austin. Bye-bye.
The Cynthia Austin Show will be right back right after these messages.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to team-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys, preferably somewhere they would never look. Did that go okay? You have to provide an outlet for their creative expression. So good. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.